This video is brought to you by Manscaped. Yuri the Spaceman. One of the earliest pieces of lost media I talked about on this channel was Yuri the Spaceman, an obscure French Cartoon Network show that aired in 2002. Comprised of 3-minute episodes, it followed the adventures of an astronaut named Yuri, who is stranded on the moon. Information about the series was scarcely available until 2014, when missing episodes started appearing throughout the years. And on New Year's Day of 2023, the remaining lost episodes were found by a user named Floor-Licking Crud. He stated on Reddit that he had recorded the series back when it was still airing on Cartoon Network. The Diamond Brothers, South by Southeast. Originally airing on British children's network CITV in 1991, The Diamond Brothers South by Southeast was a 6-episode adaptation of the third entry in the Diamond Brothers detective book series. While the book series has assembled a fan following throughout the years, this miniseries is relatively obscure and unknown. Fast forward to 2021, when the YouTube channel Dragonarch Productions uploaded the 1-minute series intro. The uploader confirmed that the entire series was in their possession, though refused to release it due to copyright concerns. It wasn't until July of 2022 that the first episode was uploaded in full by a user named Matthew Hopkins. This same user would gradually upload all 6 episodes by January 2nd of 2023, marking the entire series found. Sesame Street, Gymnast, and Dina and Pearl skits. A lot of Sesame Street's earlier content has been lost or extremely difficult to come across, but in January, some of their rare content appeared online. First are the gymnast segments, in which a female gymnast demonstrates various concepts through her performance. Only 2 of the 8 segments were accounted for, until this year when the entire series was found on New Year's Day. Next is Dina and Pearl, a quirky duo that never found much popularity. They appeared in a grand total of 4 skits before being forgotten about. Now, most of them are online, albeit in different languages. A few days after the gymnast segments were found, Dina and Pearl's English skits were also rediscovered. Landy NES. There is absolutely no shortage of modern game emulators around today, but among the very first to exist for the Nintendo Entertainment System was created back in 1996, known as Landy NES. It was created by a man named Alex Kravisky, known online as Landy. Despite only reaching the beta stage of development, Landy NES will later become the basis for the iNES emulator that pioneered the .NES file formats. After this, Landy became lost, as better emulators took its place. That is until 2023, when Twitter user WaluigiBSOD announced they had discovered Landy NES on Jason Scott's Discmaster website. Apparently, the emulator was included in the ISO of a CD called Hacker's Chronicle, though the funny thing is that the ISO of said CD was uploaded to the Internet Archive way back in mid-2020 by a user named Shiva Shah. It just goes to show that lost media can be hiding anywhere. Space Monster Wang Magui. Southeast Asia saw a boom in kaiju movies during the 1950s to 1970s, but many of them have become lost. Space Monster Wang Magui was among these films. Unlike other lost kaiju films of that era, it was well documented and preserved, being listed in 3 separate film archives and shown at film festivals on occasion. Despite that, this film never saw a home video release. While this movie was confirmed to still physically exist, it wasn't readily available to the public. The only footage online was a short 15-second clip, possibly recorded from a TV broadcast. SRS Cinema, a North American low-budget film distributor, announced that they had obtained the rights to Space Monster Wang Magui in June of 2022. Following this, the movie saw its first official Blu-ray release on January 13th. De Blob DS. Not to be confused with last year's A Boy and His Blob find, yet another unreleased DS game was recovered in January of this year. Also developed for the Nintendo Wii by THQ, this DS version was originally intended to release in tandem with the Wii game in 2008. While an abundance of articles mentioned the upcoming DS ports, no screenshots were even seen, and this The Blob DS was quietly cancelled. The little information given suggested this port may not have been far in development. On January 21st, a video by YouTuber Rebel Taxi unveiled footage of the Blob DS that came from a debug build they received from an anonymous source. It's fairly short and only features 3 stages. The full ROM was made available by Rebel Taxi that same day. The Jenny Jones Show, Same-Sex Crushes. In 1995, daytime talk show The Jenny Jones Show taped an episode titled Same-Sex Crushes, in which a man named Scott Amador revealed his secret crush to his co-worker, Jonathan Schmitz. A few days later, the two ended up going out for drinks, and it allegedly got sexual. Amador left Schmitz a suggestive note, but Schmitz didn't respond too favorably. He withdrew some money, purchased a shotgun, and killed Amador. Shortly after, he phoned the police to confess his crime. Following the murder, Schmitz was sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison, but is currently free. The intensive media coverage encouraged show producers to never air the Jenny Jones Show episode, though brief snippets have appeared on occasion. In 2023, a Reddit user discovered that the full episode was available on Court TV's website. It's apparently been there since June of 2022, but no one knew until this year, and no one knows why it's there. Hell Has Harbor Views. Despite being nominated for 6 awards, and winning one of them, the made-for-television film Hell Has Harbor Views was seemingly forgotten about after the few times it aired. The plot involved a lawyer named Hugh Walker, who gets entangled with a journalist named Caroline, while also discovering a scandal within his office. All that was available was a 2-minute clip and a few stills, until this year, when the YouTube channel The Aussie Archivist uploaded the film online. You Can't Do That on Television. You Can't Do That on Television was a Canadian sketch comedy series that ran from 1979 to 1990. Despite not originating on Nickelodeon, the series is considered the origin of Nickelodeon's trademark green slime, as the show's cast often had slime dumped on them during skits. The show saw consistent reruns up until 1994. It then saw brief airings on TNIC's retro TV block, The Splat. No home video release occurred, and the full catalog of episodes was lost. Though it was rumored that every episode's masters were destroyed at some point, select episodes were gradually being recovered from home VHS recordings and through vintage encodes shared during the early internet. Some episodes were even officially released through Paramount Plus in 2021. Finally, on January 26, 2023, the last remaining episodes were uploaded to the Internet Archive and Mega by users ak.fade and GregioGuy, respectively. Our Footloose remake. In 2010, 2 producers named David Seger and Tim Marklowitz put together a crowdfunded parody movie through Channel 101, an amateur filmmaking community. The movie, dubbed Our Footloose Remake, was originally intended to mock the upcoming official remake of the original, and split the work up among 54 different filmmaking teams. This resulted in a collage of wildly different scenes, varying in direction and tone. Our Footloose remake saw a modest premiere at the Downtown Independent Theater of Los Angeles. 1 year later, in April of 2011, the full film was uploaded to Vimeo by David Seger. The movie was available until a copyright complaint removed it in 2018. Following this, the search for the film resulted in locating each individual filmmaker responsible for the 54 unique scenes, and seeing if they could upload their part online. Only 18 scenes were recovered this way. After some time, Our Footloose remake surfaced once again in full, courtesy of archive.org user Rob T. Firefly. Hey guys, Blame It on George here. I know I don't show my face on camera often, but April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Testicular cancer is one of the leading causes of death among men ages 13 to 35. And today's sponsor, Manscaped, has teamed up with the Testicular Cancer Society to support those impacted by the illness. Now, if you want to support them, you can pick up their Lawnmower 4.0. I have one right here. It's super useful, waterproof, wireless, no BS. I use it all the time. And there's currently a limited edition purple version, which just looks super cool. There's only 10,000 units, so once they're gone, they're gone. You can use my promo code Jorge20, that's JORGE20, no spaces, for 20% off and free shipping. So head on over to manscaped.com/Jorge to pick one up, support the cause, and more importantly, take care of yourself. Alright, back to the video. Muppet Guys Talking, bonus content. The 2017 documentary film Muppet Guys Talking is exactly how it sounds. 65 minutes of conversation between 5 Muppeteers. The film was directed by Frank Oz, known for his extensive work on The Muppet Show and Sesame Street. Muppet Guys Talking had a very limited distribution, premiering at the SXSW Film Festival before becoming available solely through its website. While outtakes and clips were recovered in the years following, the full film was eventually uploaded to the Internet Archive by user Todd409. The Return of Jezebel James. This short-lived Fox sitcom saw a brief run in 2008, as only 3 of its 7 episodes officially aired due to low ratings. The show followed a children's book writer and her relationship with her estranged sister. While Fox never aired episodes 4 through 7, all episodes were available for purchase on the iTunes Store 2 months following the cancellation, though were later removed. Daniel Palladino, who currently hosts the podcast Gilmore Guys, was contacted regarding the lost episodes, but to no avail. Finally, on February 5th, Reddit user Cuddlebuns discovered they still had iTunes downloads of the full series in their possession. Subsequently, they uploaded the files to gofile.io, marking the sitcom as found. A self-induced hallucination. In 2018, director Jane Schoenbrunn released A Self-Induced Hallucination, a documentary about Slenderman, the famous creepypasta character. It was composed almost entirely of YouTube videos, including homemade films, news reports, snippets of video essays, and so on. The film was available on Vimeo before being taken down for unknown reasons. On February 1st, a user named File-Saving Archivist of Moving Image Things posted the entire documentary to the Internet Archive. In response, Schoenbrunn stated that this wasn't the final cut of the film, which she later uploaded on February 7th. Bluey pilots. Pilots often go lost or unreleased, and the Australian children's show Bluey is no exception. 2 pilots were produced prior to the show's 2018 premiere. First, a 1-minute test animation in 2016, which featured Bluey being pushed on a swing by her father Bandit. He isn't paying attention, so the swing eventually goes too high and crashes into him. This animation was only passed around the office, with the creator feeling it set an unsafe example. The second pilot was a 6-minute animation that was pitched and later picked up by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation and the BBC. It had no public release, though screenshots were found in a 2017 ABC News article. This pilot featured a story that would eventually be reworked as an episode of Season 1. Both pilots were recovered and made available online by Twitter user ThatOnePickle, who had received them from an anonymous user within 5 days of each other. Chucky, Wanna Play? Chucky Wanna Play was a cancelled video game by Tick Games, based on the famous killer doll of the same name. The game would have allowed the player to control Chucky as he goes on his murderous rampage. The project was funded via Kickstarter but failed to reach its goal of nearly $1 million. As such, the project was canned and the game never saw an official release. On February 14th, a prototype of the game appeared online by an Internet Archive user named Riley5411. According to the post description, it was found on an Xbox 360 dev kit. Fear Factor, MTV Spring Break Edition. We all remember Fear Factor, the iconic 2000s competition show involving extreme and sometimes terrifying challenges. While the show used to have lost episodes, most of them were made available thanks to Hulu. All except for one, the MTV Spring Break Special. Now, according to Hulu, the episode remained unavailable due to copyright issues. It was apparently about 4 contestants in Cancun competing for $5,000, according to a plot summary from TV.com. No footage existed online, making this the only lost episode of Fear Factor. However, a user named Race Olympics received a copy of the episode from a collector. It was then posted on MySplane and the Internet Archive, marking it as found. Normandy Invasion Juno Beach footage. This is a rare instance of historic lost media being found and preserved. The Normandy Invasion, more commonly referred to as D-Day, was a pivotal battle during World War II that took place on June 6, 1944. This invasion saw the Allied forces invading Northern Europe through Normandy, France. The footage was discovered by Reddit user Jedi Rain, who had purchased a 60mm film reel from an estate sale in 2017. Unable to properly view and digitize the contents until this year, the user was surprised to find the film featured undocumented footage of Juno Beach following the initial Normandy invasion, and uploaded it to YouTube on February 24th. Evangelion 3.33 Theatrical English Dub. Neon Genesis Evangelion is a well-known 1995 anime created by Hideaki Anno. While the original series did see a finale with episodes 25 and 26, a series of films were produced in the years following, retelling the 1995 series. One of these alternate films is 2012's Evangelion 3.33. The film was localized by Funimation a year later, and a dub premiere was shown at New York Comic Con that October. After that premiere, this dub was scrapped entirely. It was redone with the same voice cast, but now with direction from Studio Kara, the animation company that made the film. The official reason was that the animation studio wanted more direct translations of the original Japanese version. The first Funimation dub went lost, with only bootleg recordings of the Comic-Con showing being up online. It finally resurfaced in full this year, courtesy of Twitter user Pokemon Crystal Vivo, when they obtained a rare screener DVD of the film. Following their announcement, the full unrevised dub was uploaded to both Mega and Archive.org. Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2. Throughout last year, Warner Bros. Discovery had cancelled numerous films and cartoons, many of which were finished or nearing completion. Apparently, the company was faced with a lot of debt and canceled $2 billion in projects to amass more tax write-offs. 2023's Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2 was among the casualties. This film was intended to be the next entry in a lost series of Scooby-Doo and DC crossovers, this time featuring Crypto the Superdog. The film is noteworthy in that it's the very first project among the cancellation purge to be leaked online. This occurred as early as March 4th, when an anonymous 4chan post with a link to the full 78-minute movie surfaced. It's unknown if this was the original leak, as uploads to torrent sites occurred that same day. The original uploader is anonymous, though the leak did occur only days after another project, Scooby-Doo and the Haunted High-Rise, was also scrapped. WCW All-Nighter. World Championship Wrestling was a platform to broadcast professional wrestling from 1988 to 2001. The All-Nighter was a short-lived compilation show that aired late at night on TBS between 1994 and 1995. One special was produced each year, making 2 in total. Due to its infrequent airings and late-night time slots, very few home recordings of the show were thought to exist. For many years, only ads and promotional clips of WCW All-Nighter existed online. It wasn't until 2019, when the WWE Network re-released the 1995 special, that the series became partially found. That same year, user Mr. Dragonlord uploaded an incomplete recording of the 1994 All-Nighter to Bilibili, missing the first part of the broadcast. Fast forward to March 14th, 2023, when user A Garden3 uploaded the full 1994 special to the Internet Archive. Silent Hill Exotica. This piece is a formerly lost mod for the game Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It was titled Silent Hill Exotica and was sparingly distributed online. It was described as including various monsters from the Silent Hill game series and filling the game map with a heavy fog, reminiscent of the Silent Hill games themselves. Many fans simply believe this mod to be either extremely rare or even just a myth within the community. That is, until the mod was recently discovered by chance. Reddit user Mystic Channel had purchased a hacked original Xbox and noticed that Silent Hill Exotica was installed onto the console. On March 15th, after becoming aware of its rarity, they made a post onto r/lostmedia with questions on how to upload the file online. They were eventually able to do so on March 18th, and the mod is now downloadable on archive.org. Cartoon Network NBA All-Star Slam. For one day, February 9th of 2003, Cartoon Network hosted a 6-hour marathon highlighting various NBA players of the time. Peppered within the cartoons were interviews with players, who talked with their favorite cartoon characters on the network. This included Shaquille O'Neal with Godzilla, and Elton Brand with Space Ghost. 13 of these interviews aired in total, and after this marathon, they simply vanished. In the years following, the interviews were slowly being recollected, though were not found in full until March 19th of this year. 4 of the 13 were uploaded to YouTube by user Captain BZ. Later on, the Bugs Bunny interview was provided by C. Martin Crocker, a voice actor for Cartoon Network during this time. The remaining 8 were uploaded by the YouTube channel Retro CCN, marking this entire interview series completely found. George Lopez / Dora the Explorer commercial. In an unlikely collaboration, Nick Jr. had aired a commercial promoting the sitcom George Lopez in the spring of 2008. The promo featured Lopez lost inside an episode of Dora the Explorer, asking Dora and Boots how to get to Nick at night, as the late-night TV block was airing reruns of his show at the time. Discussions on the existence of this commercial picked up around 2022, following Reddit posts and an LMW forum poster discussing the ad and including images. On March 7th of 2023, fellow YouTuber L Supersonic Q addressed this mystery in a compilation video. Within that same month, the full promo was uploaded to YouTube by user Marbs, after finding it by chance while watching a Nick Jr. recording of The Backyardigans. Star Quest English dub. Gainax, best known for producing the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, has an extensive history, dating back to 1907 with their debut film Royal Space Force Wings of Honeomes. While the movie premiered in Japan in March of that year, it surprisingly saw its official debut in Los Angeles a month prior, under the name Star Quest. This premiere at the Chinese Man Theater was dubbed in English and never shown or released afterwards. The cast of this dub is unknown, and the quality of the dub is questionable. Star Quest was thought to be gone for good, until 2014 when a few clips surfaced. Finally, on March 31st, the film was recovered in full by Nicholas Wallstrom, who claimed it was now obtainable due to entering the public domain.